Now on to campaign 2010. It's the first poll since Attorney General Patrick Lynch exited the race for governor. And the numbers show it's a tight race for two candidates. The Brown University poll also looked at the candidates hoping to replace Congressman Patrick Kennedy. Eyewitness News reporter Tim White breaks down the numbers from the Providence Mobile Newsroom.
One of the findings from the Brown University poll shows that many of you don't know or don't think too highly of the leadership at the General Assembly. And as for the race for governor, well, statistically speaking, it's neck and neck. In a Brown University poll released today, 700 likely voters surveyed say they are torn over who should be governor. Democrat Frank Caprio garnered 28%, Independent Lincoln Chafee took 27%, Republican John Robitaille had 8%, moderate Ken Block took 3%, and Republican Victor Moffitt showed just 2%.
Let me just emphasize that there's still a considerable number of people who indicate that they're undecided.
32% still aren't sure, according to Brown University professor Marion Orr, but with a margin of error around 3%, it's a dead heat between Caprio and Chafee. Orr says it's hard to say who benefited the most when AG Patrick Lynch decided to call it quits.
But I will also say I think that Caprio seems to have some momentum. His numbers on approval as his performance around the treasurer's job has increased. He's at 51%. I think it's the highest he's been.
In the race to replace Patrick Kennedy as congressman, Brown researchers began polling voters just 2 weeks after Eyewitness News brought you the first televised debate between the Democrats. The poll shows 32% would vote for Providence Mayor David Cicilline if the election were today. 16% said Bill Lynch, 12% said Anthony Gemma, and David Siegel took 6%. 35% were undecided. The Gemma campaign immediately blasted the results in a statement, saying the Brown poll was statistically invalid and politically meaningless, arguing only 174 voters were polled on this question.
Beyond that, we are still saying that with a confidence level of 95%, we think if we held the race today, that Cicilline would be leading.
Getting away from the Rhode Island State House and heading down to Washington on a federal level, Orr says Senator Sheldon Whitehouse is still looking at some pretty tough numbers. Only 42% of you think he's doing a good job. Of course, Senator Whitehouse has time to work on that. He's not up for re-election until 2012. Tim White, Eyewitness News.